So, you've played through Space Marine 2, torn through the Tyranids, defeated the Thousand Suns Chaos Horde, and redeemed the name of one of the greatest Ultramarines to ever live, and now you're looking for more Warhammer 40,000 action? Of course you are. Well, don't worry. The grimdark future is vast, and beyond the battlefield of the Adeptus Astartes, there are countless stories to experience, enemies to crush, and wars to fight. And not just on tabletop. So just for you, here are 10 Warhammer 40k video games to play after Space Marine 2. Now, before we get started, we're giving an honorable mention to Darktide, which was recently released on PS5 after previously being available on PC and Xbox since 2022. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to delve into it just yet.
The Imperium of Man approaches its darkest hour. Its defenders lie scattered, spread thin across the darkness.
Opening up our list is Space Hulk Tactics, a turn-based strategy game developed by Cyanide Studio and released in 2018 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Based on the classic Space Hulk board game, it brings the grimdark reality of the Warhammer 40,000 universe to life, pitting some Blood Angels Terminators against a hive of relentless Tyranid gene stealers. Players engage in tactical battles within the claustrophobic corridors of a drifting Space Hulk, an amalgamation of derelict ships drifting in space, while also navigating ambushes, counterattacks, and tight strategic maneuvers. The game faithfully adapts the board game's mechanics, with a card-based enhancement system adding an extra layer of strategy to the battles. Players can command either a squad of Blood Angels Terminators or the Hungry Gene Stealers, experiencing the war from both perspectives. The single-player campaign follows a squad of Blood Angels tasked with purging the massive Space Hulk of alien infestations, while the Gene Stealer campaign explores their instinctual battle for survival. With immersive visuals and tense strategic gameplay, Space Hulk Tactics captures the atmosphere of some of Warhammer 40k's brutal close quarters combat. Also, multiplayer modes allow players to battle against each other, enhancing replayability. Though it did face some criticism for pacing issues, it remains a solid choice for fans of tactical strategy, Warhammer 40,000, and the Space Hulk franchise.
The hive cities of Necromunda. It is a place where only the strong can endure. And yet, opportunity still exists for the gang bold enough to take it.
Necromunda Underhive Wars is a tactical RPG developed by Rogue Factor and released in 2020 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Based on the Necromunda tabletop game, it immerses players in the brutal gang conflicts of the Hive City's lawless Underhive. Players command a gang from factions like Escher, Orlok, or Goliath, engaging in intense turn-based battles across multi-level industrial environments. The game combines tactical combat with RPG progression, allowing deep customization of gang members, including unique skills, weapons, and augments. The campaign revolves around a mysterious Archaeotech relic that sparks a deadly power struggle, forcing players to manage resources, form alliances, and survive the treacherous Underhive. Also, competitive multiplayer and skirmish modes expand the experience beyond the story. Now, while the game did receive some criticism for technical issues at launch, its deep customization and strategic gameplay attracted fans of both Warhammer 40,000 and turn-based tactics, and the gritty setting and atmospheric design provide an immersive glimpse into what life in the grimdark can be like for those who dwell beneath the surface of the Imperium's most well-known Forge world.
For 10,000 years, the Emperor's Inquisition have fought a secret war to defend humanity.
Moving into a bit more free-range gameplay, Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr is an action RPG by Neocore Games, released in 2018 for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Players assume the role of an Imperial Inquisitor tasked with purging heresy and uncovering dark secrets in the Caligari sector. The game offers several classes to play as, including Crusader, Assassin, and Psyker, as well as the Tech Adept class exclusive to the Prophecy DLC, and the Battle Sister class available with the Sororitas DLC. Each class is made up of 3 separate subclasses with distinct abilities and playstyles and catering to different approaches to combat. Blending isometric viewpoints with classic RPG action and elements, the game features a main campaign, procedurally generated side missions, as well as cooperative multiplayer. The story revolves around the Martyr, a fortress monastery once lost in the warp, but suddenly back in real space, and infested with chaos forces. Players unravel its mysteries while battling demonic enemies and heretics, facing moral and tactical challenges in their duty to the Emperor. Despite some criticism for repetitive gameplay, Inquisitor Martyr was praised for its rich lore, atmospheric world, and extensive customization. One drawback is that the game is required to have an internet connection to use many of its key features, and while there is an offline mode to simply play through the main campaign and the DLC story, it appears this mode is only applicable to the PC version of the game, and even then there can be no transfer between the modes for your characters. Regardless, its grimdark setting and faithfulness to the Warhammer 40,000 universe make it an engaging experience for fans of the franchise and action RPGs alike.
In their darkest moment, the Blood Angels gathered around Lord Commander Dante. A last stand. They gave themselves to the Red Thirst and stood in defiance of the alien.
Next up, we have yet another title in which the Scions of Sanguinius are taking on the ferocious and terrifying Tyranids of High Fleet Leviathan. Battlesector is a turn-based strategy game developed by Black Lab Games and released initially in 2021 for PC, though additions for consoles were released later. The game focuses on tactical battles between the Blood Angels and the Tyranids, emphasizing unit positioning, terrain advantages, and special abilities. The 20-mission campaign follows Sergeant Carleone and his forces during the devastation of Baal as they fight to reclaim Baal Secundus, one of 2 twin moons of the main planet and also the world upon which the Blood Angels' Genesire fell during the scattering of the Primarchs more than 10 millennia prior. Using mechanics based on the franchise namesake tabletop game, players must use strategic planning to overcome the Xenos threat, with each unit playing a crucial role on the battlefield. Aside from the main story, skirmish and multiplayer modes expand the replay value, allowing battles beyond the campaign. Several add-ons also allow players to take control of armies from other races, including Necrons and Orcs, amongst others, as well as using elite characters from the Blood Angels ranks and the Tyranid hive mind. Praised for its polished visuals and deep tactical gameplay, Battlesector captures the essence of Warhammer 40,000's tabletop combat. It is a faithful adaptation of the tabletop game, and emphasis on strategy make it a standout title for fans of turn-based tactics and the grimdark setting.
For centuries I have felt their coming. Shrouded in vanity, they believed themselves obscured.
Next up, we have Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, a turn-based tactical RPG by Complex Games initially released in 2022 for PC. A sequel and reboot of the original Chaos Gate released in 1998, the game puts players in command of a squad of Grey Knights, an elite Space Marine chapter tasked with hunting and destroying demons and the forces of chaos. In the main campaign, the player's ship, the Baleful Edict, is commandeered by Inquisitor Kartha Vakir, who orders their assistance in the investigation of a deadly sector-wide plague known as the Bloom. Like the first 2 entries on this list, combat focuses on squad-based tactics, with players managing a team of customizable Grey Knights. Positioning, ability synergy, and battlefield control are key to overcoming the demonic hordes players will encounter. Beyond combat, players will engage with the likes of Vakir, as well as Ector, a Grey Knight Purifier, and the Tech Dominus Lunette, as they manage their ship, upgrade resources, and research new technology to aid them in their campaign. With its engaging tactical depth and rich storytelling, Chaos Gate Daemonhunters immerses players in the eternal battle against chaos. The game's strategic management and intense battles make it a compelling experience both within the Warhammer 40,000 universe and for enthusiasts of turn-based strategy games.
This is Grand Master Belial, addressing all warriors of the First Company. A space hulk has been deposited here by the uncaring tides of the immaterial.
The second entry in the Space Hulk series on this list, Deathwing is a first-person shooter developed by Strawman Studio and released in 2016 for PC, with an enhanced edition for consoles coming later. Like Space Hulk Tactics, this game immerses players in the claustrophobic corridors of a derelict Space Hulk, though in a more straightforward approach than other Space Hulk games. The narrative of this game also deviates from most other Space Hulk titles, as instead of the Blood Angels, it follows the Dark Angels as they uncover the secrets of the Olethros, a massive Space Hulk deposited in real space after millennia of drifting through the warp. As a chapter librarian, players will lead a small squad of Terminators into the depths of the Space Hulk, battling swarms of Gene Stealers in intense atmospheric combat while exploring the massive ship's labyrinthine corridors. The game combines fast-paced gunplay with strategic squad management, allowing players to issue commands to AI-controlled teammates or join forces with others in cooperative multiplayer. Along the way, they will discover relics and artifacts tied to the Dark Angel's history, with the story touching on themes of duty, sacrifice, and redemption in the grimdark setting of Warhammer 40,000. Though initially criticized for its repetitive gameplay, the game was highly praised for its level design and attention to detail. Space Hulk Deathwing successfully captures the grim atmosphere of its setting, and its immersive visuals and brutal combat make it a thrilling experience for fans seeking an action-heavy 40k game.
It is the 41st millennium, and mankind rules the stars. Necromunda is the greatest hive world in all of the Imperium.
Similar to the previous entry, we're diving back into another subseries within the Warhammer 40,000 universe, this time on the Forge world of Necromunda. Necromunda Hired Gun is a fast-paced first-person shooter also developed by Strawman Studio and released in 2021 for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox platforms. Set in the industrial underbelly of the Imperium, the game puts players in the role of a bounty hunter, navigating the treacherous depths of Necromunda's Underhive. In the game, players embark on contracts to take down gang leaders, mutants, and other targets, utilizing an array of customizable weapons, augments, and abilities. The gameplay emphasizes frenetic combat and mobility, with parkour mechanics allowing players to traverse the environment fluidly. Players are also accompanied by a Cybermastiff, which provides combat support and can be upgraded. The story follows the bounty hunter's quest for revenge against those who betrayed them, all while uncovering a larger conspiracy in the Underhive. As players complete missions and earn credits, they unlock new upgrades and gear, enhancing their abilities and shaping their approach to combat. The narrative is a gritty tale of survival and power struggles in the Forge world's lawless depths. While Hired Gun received mixed reviews for its technical performance, its fast-paced combat, rich customization, and atmospheric setting captured the chaotic and brutal nature of the Warhammer 40k universe, particularly with its unique perspective on the Underhive, and with its Doom-like gameplay, it can appeal to most players seeking an action-packed experience.
Wah! Eat darker beauty, Yumis! Wah! The hair squid is snazzy, ain't it, Garcades? What are you doing? What are you doing? Hide's the boss, so I get the snazziest things. I'm having this. Whoa! You thieving git!
Next up on our list is a game that takes a wildly different approach in how it engages players with the universe of Warhammer 40,000. Shootas Blood and Teef is a 2D side-scrolling action platformer developed by Rogueside and released in 2022 for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. The game combines chaotic combat, humor, and vibrant hand-drawn visuals to tell the story of an orc on a mission for revenge. Players assume the role of Gargaz Teef, a disgruntled orc whose prized hair squig has been stolen by war boss Ogre Gutrekka. Armed with a variety of orky weapons, Gargaz sets out to retrieve his beloved hair squig and take down his traitorous war boss, causing havoc across Imperial cities, sewers, orc encampments, and more. The gameplay focuses on frantic shooting, platforming, and collecting loot. The story is lighthearted and humor-filled, offering a comedic take that stands in stark contrast to the typically grim and dark 40k universe. As players progress, they gather their own Wah, an orc warband that adds to the chaos. The narrative also explores the orc's unique culture, where might makes right and everything revolves around destruction and looting. Praised for its engaging gameplay and colorful art style, Shootas Blood and Teeth provides a refreshing change of pace for the Warhammer franchise. Its combination of humor, action, and cooperative multiplayer makes it a standout experience for fans of orc culture and fast-paced platformers.
Lord Captain Theodora von Valencius perished along with her heir Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the rogue trader dynasty survived, and through the strength of his resolve, saved those who were counting on him for protection.
The penultimate entry on our list takes us out of the more straightforward approach of previous entries and gives us a rare sense of freedom in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Rogue Trader is a narrative-driven CRPG developed by Owlcat Games and was released in 2023 for PC and consoles. The game places players in the role of a rogue trader, a powerful semi-autonomous figure granted a warrant of trade to explore, exploit, and conquer the uncharted regions of the galaxy in the name of the God Emperor and the Imperium of Man. The story centers on the rogue trader's journey through the Coronis Expanse, a dangerous frontier filled with Xenos threats, heretical cults, and hidden treasures. As the captain of a massive void ship, players must navigate political intrigue, establish trade routes, and make critical decisions that can shape the fate of entire worlds. The narrative explores themes of loyalty, ambition, and the fine line between duty and personal gain. The gameplay combines classic CRPG mechanics such as turn-based combat and party-based exploration with a heavy focus on branching narratives and moral choices. Players assemble a diverse crew of companions including an Eldar Ranger, a Space Marine, and a Navigator, each with unique abilities, backstories, and perspectives on the Rogue Trader's mission. With its richly detailed world, deep storytelling, and faithful adherence to the Warhammer 40k lore, Rogue Trader delivers an immersive role-playing experience. Since its release, players have praised its complex characters, intricate choices, and tactical combat, solidifying its appeal among CRPG fans and Warhammer enthusiasts alike.
It is my belief that rogue elements within the Adeptus Mechanicus may have been experimenting with a surviving fragment of Inquisitor Drogon's power source. You should assume the situation to be extremely hostile. Beware, we do not know how far the taint of the arch-enemy spreads.
The final entry on our list, and arguably one of the most fun indie-level video games under a Games Workshop license, Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun is a retro-inspired first-person shooter developed by Auric Digital and released in 2023 for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. The game pays homage to classic 90s shooters like Doom and Quake, blending pixelated graphics with the intense, visceral combat of the 40k universe. Players take on the role of Malum Kaido, a Sternguard veteran of the Ultramarines First Company, armed with the iconic Boltgun, chainsword, and other devastating weapons. The gameplay is fast-paced and action-packed, emphasizing movement, strafing, and gory battles against Chaos forces that include traitorous cultists, Chaos Marines, and greater demons. Contributing to the experience, the level design features sprawling maps filled with secrets, hazards, and waves of enemies to obliterate. The narrative follows the veteran Space Marine on a mission to purge chaos corruption from the planet Graia after the events of the first Space Marine game, effectively making this game a pseudo-sequel and spin-off. While the story serves as a backdrop to the gameplay, it captures the grimdark tone of Warhammer 40,000, emphasizing the unrelenting fight against heresy and eternal loyalty to the Emperor. Praised for its faithful retro aesthetic, tight controls, and satisfying gunplay, Boltgun has been celebrated as a love letter to classic FPS games. Its combination of nostalgia and Warhammer lore offers an exhilarating experience for fans of both old-school shooters and the 40k setting that players are sure to love. And that's our list. And keep in mind, this is only a small selection of some of the more recent video games available under the Warhammer 40k banner. Also note, a lot of these games are listed online for relatively high prices compared to what most critics think they're worth. However, most of them tend to be part of massive flash sales, with discounts ranging from 30 to 90% off. So if any of these titles pique your interest, be sure to keep an eye out. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then follow the will of the Imperium and hit those like and subscribe buttons and help our Legion grow. Thanks for watching, and as always, may the Emperor guide your hand.
Oh, you bunch of weaklings! I ain't even shot you yet!